Hey everybody, so I want to talk about episode 2. We got a trailer for this episode. We also got a sneak peek, and I'm going to cover both of them in this video. That's what I started doing last year. I normally will do separate videos on the sneak peek and then the trailer, depending on how different they are, because some sneak peeks are very unrelated to the trailer, and so it's like, yeah, that will warrant its own video. We'll talk about that individually, but whenever the trailers and the sneak peeks are more similar, I'll just combine them because, yeah, it makes more sense, right? More to talk about. Tonight's episode was a lot of fun. It definitely was an intro to this season. It set up a lot of stuff. That ending, I'm still super hyped about that ending. I really can't wait to see what happens with that. I don't think we're going to know until episode 3. Actually, before I even talk about that, I have to warn you for spoilers for tonight's episode. If you haven't watched it yet, then go watch it and then come back and watch, because, yeah, I'm going to be diving into all that. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. This is my first trailer breakdown of the season. I guess I did do the general season 10 trailer earlier in the summer, but this is the first video for the season. I'm super excited for episode 3. I am overall excited for episode 2, just for what it can bring with the Whisperers, because I'm really interested in Thora Birch. We're going to see her in episode 2. She's playing a character named Gamma. She's supposed to be really close with Alpha. Beta does not like her, so I think we're going to see the inner workings of the Whisperers and stuff like that. But episode 1's ending really set up episode 3. And so I think these next 2 episodes are going to be very much setup episodes, because the rest of the season is going to be so chaotic. And I'm not even kidding. Like, I promise you, the second half of the season, based on all the information that we got, I don't even know how they're going to fit it all in. It's going to be so insane. And then this half, the last 3 or 4 episodes, 5 episodes, depending on what they put in there, yeah, we're really in for some crazy time. So this episode isn't really much of a Whisperer backstory like I was thinking. I kept thinking that it was going to go way back, like years before our characters met the Whisperers, to when we see Beta and Alpha meet. Maybe we're still going to get that, but at this point, I don't really think so. I think it's going to be a Whisperer backstory in terms of recapping what's happened since the season 9 finale, because if you remember, during the season 9 finale, the Whisperers were gone. Because it was winter, they migrated south, which was really smart for them, because everyone kept pointing out, if there's snow and the Whisperers live outside, how are they going to survive that? Which is still so sad. I wish season 10 was like a snow season. It really sucks that it's not going to be. I'm glad we got a snow episode though. I'm not really complaining. But I am interested in this recap. I do want to know what they've been up to. I'm hoping there's going to be some other stuff that happens in the episode. I don't want it to be a Whisperer character piece episode. Like, I'm okay with those sometimes, but to start that your second episode in, I don't know if that's smart. But then again, once we're at episode 3, like 2 weeks from now, we're not going to be complaining anymore, right? Because the ball will be rolling at that point. But in the trailer, we do see Alpha and Beta talking, and they discuss returning to, I guess, where Daryl and everybody is, like returning to the area around Alexandria, Hilltop, etc. Beta says there's going to be fear and stuff. I don't know what he means by that. I think he means that some of the Whisperers will be, I guess, plagued with fear because they're returning to them, and obviously they got to worry about that threat out there. But Alpha does say that, no, they're going to fear us because of what we did, which is kind of hilarious. I feel like with most communities that would be the case, but when it comes to Daryl and all of them, that's not really the case. Like, they definitely picked on the wrong people. Like, Daryl and them definitely know how to stand up for themselves. At some point in this episode, it looks like Beta is departing somewhere, because Alpha does say that. Alpha says that when you depart, take the sisters. And we'll talk about the sisters in a second, but Beta is departing somewhere. So what this tells me is that the episode will begin with them at some kind of camp, and then Beta has to go out somewhere with some Whisperers. He's going to bring the sisters. I think they're going to be in a parkade at some point just because of these shots here. There's also some other shots that are kind of related to of Beta looking at Gamma. So I'm thinking this is when they're on their journey. And I think near the end of the episode, they're just going to reunite. And I guess at some point end up back where their camp is near Alexandria and stuff. This scene here between Alpha and Beta, I think says a lot. And I really am wanting to see what their relationship is all about. I think that's probably the most, well, not the most, but I guess one of the questions I have about the relationship is just, how does it work? You know, I think my biggest one is like, who is Beta? I want to know that. I want to see what he looks like with that mask off. I guess we all know it, right? It's Ryan Hurst, but how does that relationship work? It's like, that's a big one because they don't seem to be that nice towards one another. Beta seems to be nice to Alpha, like he's shaving her head, and they seem to actually be getting along in this scene here, but obviously in the trailer, it's hard to get what the full context is because, I mean, something can happen literally like a minute later. Alpha could be freaking out on Beta or what have you. So yeah, I'm hoping they explore that a little bit more. I just want to buy that there's a connection there, even if there's no connection from Alpha to Beta, that there's no, I guess, love going that way, but I want to see why Beta cares about Alpha. I really want to see that just because certain things will happen later on in the comics where when Alpha is killed by Negan, Beta has to freak out in that moment, and he's gonna, I mean, he really just, he takes that whole Walker horde and charges after Alexandria. Again, they could change it up completely. Samantha Morton could be around until the end of the season, but my point is I want to see more of that. I want to see why Beta cares about Alpha so much and why he's so jealous of Gamma. Actually, let's talk about Gamma, because we really do see her in this trailer. We don't really see her talk or anything like that, but she looks really cool. She's actually being played by Thora Birch. She was announced earlier in the season, so there's that. Everyone seems to be really excited about her because, I mean, it's Thora Birch, right? Everyone loves her. She's also wearing Enid's clothes, so that's going to be pretty distracting. It is a nice touch, as messed up as it is, to have her wearing Enid's clothes, because that means that she was with the Whisperers at some point. And that's kind of where I'm confused on this. When did she join the Whisperers? Beta seems to be very concerned about her. Beta actually brings up in the trailer that Gamma is causing a lot of trouble. Gamma is causing trouble amongst the Whisperers, and Alpha seems to defend her a little bit, but why is she all of a sudden starting trouble? Is it just because she just decided to start trouble, or is it because she's new to the pack? If that's the case, then how is she wearing Enid's clothes? So that's where I'm just a little confused on all of that. Do they just store clothes or what have you? Like, that's, yeah, I'm curious on that part, because that part really makes no sense. To talk about the trailer more shot by shot, there's this shot here, which I actually really do like. I'm guessing this is at their other camp. Like, this is their home away from home, I guess is what you would call it. We see two Whisperers here. They're walking by. When you go in a little bit closer, I guess that's Alpha and Beta's little room that they have. That's what I hope we get in this episode. I want an explanation as to how they sleep. Like, how does that all work? I guess they just sleep on the ground. I don't see any beds or anything like that. I also don't remember them showcasing any of that in season 9. So yeah, I think that's probably one of my other questions that I have for this episode is, are we going to see the lifestyle of the Whisperers? Like, we don't really know any of that yet. We know what they do. We know some of the things that they have, like just decoration-wise and stuff in their base, but we don't know how they sleep. How do they eat? Like, how do they actually eat? If you think about it, they need to eat, right? I don't see any food anywhere. So yeah, that part I'm really curious in, because if they believe in being walkers, then obviously they wouldn't eat, right? Because the whole point to a Whisperer is that whenever you die, you're becoming a guardian. Like, that's why Alpha and Beta refer to walkers as guardians. They're basically what they want to be after death. And they really do believe in that too. Alpha and Beta, when they die, they want to become walkers. Like, that's so important to them. So if it's so important to them, why not just die then? And so if they're eating food still, that kind of, I don't know, I could be nitpicking with that, but I'm curious in just the lifestyle of the Whisperers in general. Like, how does all of that work? Gamma, I think in general, just looks really amazing. It's crazy, but she actually looks really awesome as a Whisperer. The outfit, the look and everything. I mean, she reminds me of, I guess, a younger Alpha. I feel like Gamma could be the daughter that Alpha always wanted. I'm sure Lydia, when she was a Whisperer, she wasn't what Alpha wanted, and so that could be what Alpha is seeing in her. That literally could be it. We have this awesome shot here. The bunch of walkers, or I guess walkers and Whisperers, are in the field. I'm guessing they're traveling north again. That's what's kind of hilarious about this, is that it's going to take them a long time to travel up there because they're walking so slow. They're literally walking with walkers, and they need to do that because they got to worry about other people. And I think that would be a really interesting part of episode 2, is if they introduce other characters, just random characters in a random city that they're in. Like, it could just be a survivor, people living in a store or a grocery store or something like that. They come across the Whisperers, and we see Beta and Gamma and them actually kill them. I think that would be really cool. Maybe that's where we meet Virgil, because remember, that was another Whisperer cast for this season. His name is Virgil. Maybe they actually find him in episode 2 and he joins the Whisperers, but he doesn't really want to join. He's just joining to survive. We also have some night shots here, and it's really hard to tell what's happening. Like, we see Alpha here. There might be someone kneeling down in front of her, and maybe she's about to kill somebody, but it's really hard to tell. All I know is that there's a night shot, and yeah, I'm thinking this is taking place sometime after all the other stuff that we saw. I really do feel like the episode's going to end with Alpha and Carol, though I think we're just going to see Alpha's perspective, because episode 1 ended with Carol up, obviously, on that cliff, looking down on Alpha, but before Alpha noticed Carol, Alpha was just kind of, feeling the breeze or whatever, and then obviously looked up and then saw Carol. So I think we're going to see what Alpha was doing just beforehand, and that's how episode 2 is going to end. It could have ended crazy, though. Like, Alpha could have just killed someone or something like that, and so she walks out there and sees that. There could be something there, something of more substance, but yeah, that's kind of my prediction for how the episode is going to end. Overall, I mean, the episode, I'm sure, is going to be exciting. I am way more excited for episode 3, but The Walking Dead is back. I'm excited for anything right now. But yeah, if you want more content like this, just make sure to be a subscriber, and also post your thoughts down below on tonight's episode, and also your predictions for episode 2. What do you think is going to happen with the Whisperers? How much do you think we're going to see Gamma, and how much of a role do you think she's going to play in comparison to Beta? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.